property ownership privacy will soon be dead. The OECD has recently launched a new global real estate transparency framework, similarly to how I made a video on the crypto asset regulatory framework, CARF, where pretty much all CRS countries are going to also share crypto data with each other. If you're from one CRS country and you're living in another one and you have a crypto exchange account, KYC'd in that other country, they're going to tell your home country about it. Essentially, crypto privacy will be dead at some point, apart from the countries that are not going to implement this. The same thing is going to happen to property, which they claim is the last major transparency gap. Foreign property used by wealthy individuals to hide wealth outside of CRS and crypto reporting. Because you can't hide your bank accounts because of CRS, you can't hide your crypto, but you can hide your property. Specifically, you can hide your property under a company, under a holding company, under a foundation, under a trust. That is now over. They're going to have two modules. Module 1 is one-time reporting of all existing holdings, and then annual updates for new acquisitions. So if you buy new property next year, it's also going to be reported, and then annual reporting of sales, capital gains, and rental income. So they're even going to know if you rent out your property. This is absolutely insane. You have multiple properties around the world because you're a wealthy individual and you want to be diversified, and they're going to know if you rent them out, they're going to know if you sold them, they're going to know where you have them, they're probably going to know your address as well, which is quite concerning. They can always come and take you from there. The minimum data that is going to be shared is owner's name, tax ID or address, and property address and value. So they're going to know where you have your address, how much the property is worth, how much you bought it for, how many taxes have you paid on it, is somebody renting it or not. This is just... Optional is also going to be financing method, taxes paid, and ownership structure. So if you have a company that owns that property, they're going to know that you have that company. They're going to know that that company has properties all over the world. They're going to know if you paid your taxes or not. And they're going to know how you bought that property. Did you buy it with mortgage? Did you not mortgage it? Did you pay it in cash? Ooh. Entity held property must disclose beneficial owners. So if you have a company owning your property, a trust owning your property, you must disclose the UBO, ultimate beneficiary owner, which is essentially who controls and uses the property, and must align with FATF standards, the Financial Action Task Force, which has a blacklist and a gray list. So what you will see in the future is if you buy a property in a gray listed country, ooh, that's very bad. That is very bad. We know you have that property there because of this new reporting standard, and we don't like you having those properties in Paraguay. We don't like you having those properties in the Cayman Islands. You will see this happen in the coming future, sadly. Effective only bilaterally. This is extremely important because both countries that are reporting the information, let's say your home country and the country where you're buying the property, must sign on to this. Just like CRS, this is probably going to first be rolled out to the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, then to the European Union, and then to all major developed countries. But just like CRS, the US is not participating, so it creates a huge loophole for foreign investors, let's say Europeans, that want to put money into the United States under a US LLC without actually reporting it automatically. There's probably going to be some requirement to report your US properties because the European Union and all these other countries are not just going to let people buy property in Miami and then not report it. There's probably going to be some extra reporting. Do you have any properties in the US? Just like the US asks US citizens, do you have any crypto? And if you lie, that is a crime. And if you lie that you don't have property in the US, but you do, that's also a crime. So probably they're going to get rid of that loophole, but it's essentially going to work just like CRS. So just like CRS, just like CARF, Crypto Asset Regulatory Framework, this property regulatory framework or reporting framework will have countries that are not going to sign onto that. Just like, for example, Serbia, that I talk about a lot. I'm a Serbian citizen. I absolutely love the Republic of Serbia. And Serbia has a lot of property purchase opportunities and a lot of privacy opportunities for high net worth individuals, not only to get citizenship by merit, which you can get, you can do it through us. We help high net worth individuals all over the world get citizenship in countries like Serbia to protect their assets, protect their privacy, protect their freedom as well. You never know when they cancel your passport because they don't like where you're buying properties or how you're spending your money. Serbia, for example, has signed the OECD's Conventional Mutual Administrative Assistance in Tax Matters, but it is only based on a request. So they are not part of CRS automatically, especially if you're a Serbian citizen. So if you get Serbian citizenship by merit and then you go and buy properties in Serbia under your Serbian citizenship, probably, most likely, they will not be reported back to your home country. Obviously, do everything legally. If you're tax resident in your home country, if you're tax resident in a high tax country, then obviously you need to follow the law. But this could be a great way to kind of protect your freedom and protect your privacy in a strong way as well. Recently, we helped this client right here obtain a second citizenship, and he said, work with the team and would like to say that my case was handled very professionally, very smooth, A+ experience. I also needed some extra services like driving license, opening bank accounts, structuring companies, all done without any delays. If you want to work with us, click the link in the description, book a one-on-one call. I'll see you there, and I'm excited to help you and get a 5-star review just like this one. What this framework does essentially is create a third and final pillar of global tax transparency. They have your bank accounts, they have your crypto, so they have unified data across money, crypto, and property, giving tax authorities near total visibility over global wealth and just controlling your freedom in general, and just basically telling you what to do in your life based on what you buy, based on where you have properties. They're gonna know where you have your properties all over the world. They're gonna know the address. In the UK, the things that are happening, they're just showing up to your door. They can just look up, oh, he has 3 properties, one in Scotland, one in Wales, and one in London. Let's go to any of those properties and see if he's there. Oh, this one's not rented because it's not reporting any rental income. Probably he lives there. Let's go. Because he posted something on social media, let's arrest him. So this is dystopian, because when it comes to money, when it comes to bank accounts, I know they have to track where you send your money. I know they want to make sure that you don't launder money, but property is different. It's where you live. It's where they can come and just take you from there. It's what they can seize, and now you don't have a home. It's something you want to pass on to your children. It's completely different. I'm a property investor. I love properties, and I really hate the direction that this is going towards. That's why I think, as a high net worth individual, the best thing you can do is look for countries that are not implementing this dystopian nightmare. Countries like Serbia, countries like Paraguay. I know they're not the most developed in the world. I know they have their issues, they have their corruption, they have their problems, but they're not implementing this crazy reporting to other countries where you can still have some privacy, you can still have some freedom, and you can also get permanent residency and citizenship to have another citizenship to protect yourself in case anything happens. I think this is going to increase the popularity of other countries that are also not signatory to CRS, like the Philippines, Dominican Republic, Cambodia, as I mentioned, Botswana as well, which is coming up with a citizenship by investment program. That's going to be interesting. Uzbekistan, Tanzania, North Macedonia, Guatemala. Some countries that are not reporting your bank accounts all over the world, although I recommend you always to follow the law. If you're a tax resident in a country, report that. But this goes a bit far. So I think those countries that are not going to report the properties that you have are going to become extremely popular, specifically if you can get citizenship in those countries. Because, for example, El Salvador, you can get citizenship in El Salvador, you can buy property as an El Salvador citizen, and then it's not going to be reported because you're an El Salvador citizen. So I think that's going to increase the popularity of all these countries where you can get a second citizenship and then buy property under that second citizenship, or buy a Caribbean passport and then buy property under a company tied to your Caribbean passport. Make sure you follow the law, but also make sure you protect yourself as much as possible. If you want to see the countries that the wealthiest people in the world go to protect their privacy and their wealth, check out this video right here on where my wealthiest clients go to for privacy, for freedom, for protection. Check them out right here.